This is the start. This is your heart. This is the day you were born. This is the sun. These are your lungs.
I'm going to have a drink out of my Broncos cup.
I'll give you some of mine too.
Pour it in. Thank you.
So how the heck do we know each other?
Wow. You know what? Actually, that we first met each other probably 21 or 22 years ago when we first moved back to Colorado from Oregon.
I remember, of course, we both attended the vineyard in Kansas City as laymen, and with no intention of any craziness like working for a church. Although maybe you were already thinking that. I know that was the last thing.
Not really.
Okay.
No.
And we were in like the new members class.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking that guy over there is a poor soul who really needs my help. And I felt a sense of purpose. And the question is it burnt orange and blue, or is it blue and burnt orange? Which is the way to go?
Yes.
Is it the peanut butter or the chocolate?
I think you got chocolate on my peanut butter.
And so for our listening audience, just hang in there. It'll be 21 minutes of sheer joy for me and Bryan. Eventually, we ended up both working at the same church.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That was fun. That was just for fun. The best thing was the lower left drawer of your desk.
The candy drawer?
Yes. You were always the most popular in the office, and I think I know why.
Even some of the pastor's kids loved coming into my office.
Especially the pastor's kids. Yeah, and none of them have teeth anymore. I don't know what happened.
I was getting a bonus from the local dentist. So
anyway, those were fun days. I actually really miss hanging out together, and I don't know. It was just our friendship to me was pure fun with a little bit of ministry in it, which maybe that was the ministry kind of a thing.
No, I think that was part of the ministry. I definitely miss that too, and I really enjoyed the times where we were able to sit down and talk about stuff together.
Yeah, you were looking for someone with wisdom and found nobody, and so you were stuck with me.
All through my elementary years was in Boulder, and from 1965 to 1970, Boulder was a pretty crazy place.
Is that when you became a liberal growing up in Boulder?
I don't think so. We need to get out in the country. We need to get out of that town. So we moved up to Berthoud, which is just north of you, but where we live was northwest along the foothills towards Carter Lake. It was great because to the north of us were literally miles of wheatland. So we didn't have neighbors right around us.
Were there fields of barley there?
Fields of barley? That would be Sting. No, those are fields of wheat.
Oh, okay. I must have heard you wrong. Sorry about that.
When I was in sixth grade, I started drinking.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I don't know how much they knew about that.
Were they concerned about you guys? They wanted you to grow up in a more wholesome environment. Was that part of it?
Yeah, there were a lot of drugs at the junior high, I think, but they just said, we got to get out of here. Not a good place.
Yeah. So they moved to the country to kind of so you guys wouldn't be immersed in that culture.
Yeah. And the only thing that changed was they were pretty confident that we weren't immersed in it, and we were immersed in it because at that time, I don't think it mattered where you went. Drugs and alcohol were around.
Yeah, even in a smaller town like Berthoud.
Yeah, it didn't matter. I mean, when I was in eighth grade, I started going out in the parking lot and getting high during school, and that continued through most of my high school time. And by then, we moved out in the country. Church was more of an inconvenience than anything. It was just, I think my mom and dad had this confidence. We're out in the country. It's a farm community. Not until I was, after I graduated high school, I took a year off to work and save money. I had decided at that time I wanted to be a dairy farmer. Mm-hmm. And so I went to a junior college in Sterling, kept my nose kind of clean for about 3 or 4 months, and then was back into doing everything I was doing before. After college, I worked on different dairies, continued partying.
Did you progress past smoking pot and alcohol?
Even in high school, it wasn't. It was fairly common for people to bring in. A lot of times, it was prescription drugs that they had from other people, amphetamines, There was some acid use in high school and some later on. There was pretty much most anything that you would think you could get access to.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't, but at the time you don't think that it's not healthy for you. You're just a stupid kid.
Right. That's what people are doing. And so it must be okay, or who cares, kind of thing.
Yeah.
What was, did you have any really bad drug experiences, or did you pretty much enjoy it?
I got to where I didn't do much drinking because that usually made me sick. I didn't like that.
What was it like doing LSD?
It depends. It was sometimes crazier than others.
Mm-hmm.
We also used to get mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
What are they? Psilocybin mushrooms, whatever the name is, and that was the same type of experience where it's very mind altering. You couldn't necessarily trust what you were seeing because your mind was interpreting things different ways.
Do you, when you talk about this, do you have a feeling of regret, or is it just like that's what God, like even as I'm asking, I'm feeling like, am I kind of dragging you through some pain talking about that stuff?
I think probably more than anything, the area that I have struggles or regrets is the people that I invited into that.
Okay.
Because I did that, and
well, it's like the apple in the garden. Everyone's gonna taste of the apple, and then they have to come back to God or not. Now that they have that knowledge, it's just so tragic, and yet it's so beautiful when we go all the way through the process to the end.
Isn't it interesting too that it always is a lie that leads us to the apple?
Mm-hmm.
Even the things that we got involved with that weren't good for us, we went there based on a lie.
Yeah. Either we thought what we had was bad, or where it would lead us would be good. And until we find out.
I do know, like when I worked at the dairy down in New Mexico, that man that I worked for, he's probably, I would consider him to be one of the main spiritual fathers in my life,
mm-hmm.
because he just walked the walk, and he wasn't afraid to talk the talk, but he did things that made me go, what in the world is this guy doing? Because he was following Jesus. So his son,
go ahead.
His son started hanging out with me, mm-hmm. and his son was like I think a senior in high school at that time. And I was 20 or 21. And I got him involved in getting high, and mm-hmm. He still has struggles. So he doesn't hold it against me. He really is a guy that I could look at him and say, that's who I want to model myself after. Mm-hmm. Walking the way he did. He would do things, you got to understand that as I'm down there, I'm drinking some, but I'm mostly still just getting high every day, mm-hmm. doing other stuff too. He knew that I was doing stupid stuff, but he put up with me. He loved me. It was just such a great environment for me to be around, because I would see him do things. Here's an example.